Welcome to the second annual Veteran Suicide Awareness Ride. This year we are honoring Senior Airman Chad Shoulak, who tragically died on May 2nd, 2014. The purpose of this ride is threefold. It's to raise awareness for veteran suicide. I don't know a service member who hasn't been touched by veteran suicide. We want to make sure that the community knows that this is happening and more needs to be done. Second, we want to hook up veterans with veteran resources in the area, which is why we have a lot of different organizations, both for veterans issues and suicide awareness at this event. Third is to bring camaraderie and allow veterans to talk with each other, meet with each other, and ride together. Thank you for attending this year. And let us always remember Senior Airman Chad Shoulak. I started this ride in memory of my brother who died from suicide. And it touches each one of our hearts.
I'd give my own life for him. I would. I have him here. He was an amazing, amazing son. He had such a kind heart, and he was just amazing. He was cute. He was full of energy. He was a good kid. He never got into any drugs, alcohol, nothing. He was such a good kid, you know. I think he was, his self-esteem, he had poor self-esteem, you know, when he was, I don't know so much of the kid, but maybe more so when he was a teenager.
Oh yeah, everybody liked Chad. Everybody liked him. Chad and his family moved to Reedsville when we went to school together in 4th grade. And Chad was in my class, in Miss Arnest's class, and he was this cute new guy who showed up from Kansas with an accent. Funny. He was very giggly, and he liked to make everybody happy. He was a very charismatic person.
He was very hardworking. He worked like 4 hours before school every day and then 4 hours after. So he'd work like 4:30 to 7:30 in the morning, go to school, and then he'd come back and work like 4 more hours on a farm. And then on top of that, he would do like a lot of fitness. So he worked a lot because he always wanted to like save up for like a car and his own like first car. He wasn't like the quote-unquote like popular guy at school, but he had like a few really close friends, which is Matt Vanderlyn and Matt Schwann. He hung out with them quite a bit. Him and I would say, were less close towards like the end of high school. I think I was starting to get a little older, and like I think I was in like 7th grade when he graduated high school. So we were really close, I think, when we were a little younger, and then I started getting like moody in 7th and 8th grade. And I think him being an older teenager was just like, I don't want my little sister following me around. But yeah, when I have like memories of me being in like, you know, elementary or middle school, because he was almost 6 years older than me, I always just remember him going to work a lot and then working out a lot are like the main two things. I think he honestly wanted to just like get away, and he wanted to kind of like make his own like life for himself. He I think towards like the end of high school, he was just like not a super happy kid. Like him and my dad fought a lot, and I think they just butted heads a ton. And I think Chad was just like ready to like get away from the small town that we grew up in and like get out and like do his own thing. And so I think the military was like a very obvious choice for him. Both my parents were in the Army, and he never loved academics. So I don't think he really saw himself going to like a 4-year university right away. I think that schooling was something he was going to do while he was in the military. But yeah, I think he just really wanted to kind of like get out and like make his own name, and yeah.
Well, he told me about the 911, the 9/11 situation, about him wanting to go over there and kick ass. And then I told him, I said, these are professional killers. They're trained, child up, you know what I mean? And then, of course, I'm pretty sure, too, he wanted to get away from his dad, and he was just ready to leave the nest.
So there's like 2 things I can think of, and I hope my like memory's not too foggy. So my mom had told me when he was in Korea that he had like expressed to my mom that he had tried to like hang himself. I don't know like the details of like why it wasn't like successful. Like that sounds like a weird thing to say, what happened there, because he never told me about that. And then Mom and I actually had to go down. When he got back from Korea, he was in Arkansas, like Little Rock, Arkansas. That's where he was stationed. And my memory is so poor of this. I just remember him being suicidal and like letting me and Mom know. Like he was like making like very open statements like of how he would probably do it. So we had to like contact like his boss essentially to like go check on him and do like, he had a roommate, but like I don't know if he was home or what happened. And they like pulled him out of the house, and like he ended up getting, I think he was admitted for like a week in the hospital, just to be on hold for like suicide watch. So Mom and I, as soon as that happened, we just like drove to Arkansas to stay with him for like a few days, and he was so different. Like he just, I think it was so hard to like talk about like what was happening. Like I don't think us as a family did a super great job at communicating, of like being like me looking at Chad and being like, you want to like take your life. Like I think used like humor a lot, and I tend to do that a lot still. But when I would like look at him, I just like could see like he like wasn't the same in his eyes. So that was like really hard. And it was just, I think it was really hard and scary because he lived so far away that we felt like pretty helpless. Cause like Mom could only take so much vacation, and like I had to be back in school. So it's like you go down there for like a few days, and then you just like hope for the best when you go back up, because you can't be there with him 100% of the time to make sure he's not gonna do anything. So you're just like texting and like constantly checking in. So yeah, that was pretty scary, and that was like I think almost a year. That was the summer before he actually like successfully committed suicide. So I think that whole year leading up to it, to when it actually happened, I think we were all just kind of like holding our breath. It was just like kind of not waiting for it, but we were just like, oh God, is he actually doing okay like he says he is, or like what's going on?
It was like late at night for me. I was over and he was in America. And he told me, this is like, I don't know, between 4 and 6 months before he died. And he told me that he just couldn't do it anymore, and that he was, living a life of a lie because he was so depressed, and that we had been talking about like hey, even though we're long distance, like we should like date each other kind of thing, because we were from the same hometown and we like understood each other, and we kind of like that was our like joke for like years. And he was all like, hey, like we never had a serious relationship because he's like, I would never want to put you in a position that I'm about to put everybody into, and I could never like do that to you. And I was texting him back and I was like, what are you talking about? You know, like, and he was like, well, I'm just done, and I wanted to tell you that I love you and that you're a great person. And he's like, but this is going to be the last time you're going to be hearing from me. And I'm sorry, and I'm not doing this to hurt you. And then he didn't write me back. And I ran down to the phone to try and get a call out to him. And I called his cell phone like 3 times in a row when he didn't answer. And then, so I printed out the email and I went to the chaplain's office, and I didn't know much about his command, just besides that he was in Arkansas. And I was telling him, like, you gotta do something to help my friend. Like, I'm worried what's gonna happen. I didn't have his mom's number at that time. And I didn't know what to do because I didn't have any, you know, access of like how to get a hold of anybody. And so the chaplain let me use his phone to try and call him. And he still didn't answer. I thought maybe if I called from a different number, like maybe he would answer the phone. And then I got an email from him 3 days later. And he said that he was sorry. He didn't mean to scare me, and that he's fine now, and he wasn't.
I sent him, you know how you get those nice little things from Facebook about a son, and I sent that to him, and we'd always say, love you to infinity back, I love you more to infinity back and back and back and back, you know, and so that was our last conversation. So, yeah, was not expecting it. When he told me December, you know, it's like, if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't be here right now. I thought, we're doing good, you know, so, yeah.
I think he just like lost the fight. And I think, I don't know, I think Mom and I have talked about this a bit, but that whole year in between, I felt like I was just waiting for the phone call, like that it was gonna happen. Like every time the phone rang and I didn't recognize the number, I'm like, is Chad gone? And so like the night that it happened, like I had that feeling when I got that call. So, yeah.
I communicate with him. He was kind of a little stressed because he was thinking about getting out of the Air Force, and then so he was trying to do that and then get married. I told him, I said, you have a lot on your plate right now, you know, and he knew I was always there for him. You know, we had a great relationship and would talk, but obviously not good enough to help with that. But actually we were driving to my best friend's in the Dells, and I shut my phone off because I was working at this nursing home. Pester, you know what I mean? And so I just shut it off. And then we rolled on in to my best friend's house, and her husband was standing there with a weird expression on his face, and I heard my best friend crying, and I don't know why I said it. It's like, what happened? Did somebody die? And then she gives me the phone, and my ex tells me that Chad died, and I just fell to the floor. And I wasn't expecting that at all. And I always think, if I had my phone on, he would still be here. He could have talked to me. I went to my best friend's, and then when I found out, I looked at the messages.
It was actually from our friend Matt. Because he was out turkey hunting, and I was working third shift at the time, and I just woke up, and I was going downstairs at the house there, and All of a sudden he calls me. He goes, "Did you see what happened?" I'm like, "No, what? You got turkey?" He goes, "No, Chad died." Like, bullshit. There's no way. And then I think I messaged Brianna and I said, "Is this true or what's going on here?" And she's like, "Yeah, give me a call." And so I talked with Brianna about it. And then that night, me and Matt actually went out to the bar and had a couple drinks for Chad and just talked about her memories with him, because it was just surreal that he was gone. Kind of. It just didn't seem real. Surreal. Just the fact that knowing a friend of mine for I don't even know how many years was laying in a casket that I was carrying was absolutely surreal to me. And just surreal is probably the best way I can go with.
My chaplain told me that my friend was faking it for attention, and that it wasn't real. So he did not contact his command. He did not do any extra measures. He told me that my friend, he said, "Well, your friend is looking for you for attention because you had a good relationship with him, and he is just doing this for attention. It's not real." And I said, "It is real, and you need to take it seriously." And he said, "Okay, well, you can use my phone and try and call him."
There's such a stigma about mental health. It's crazy. Stigma, major stigma. And I feel like it's getting better now. I don't think the people who haven't been at war knows what these guys are going through. You know, I can't imagine. I was in the military. I was not in war. But I feel like I get to take care of my heroes now who've been in war. But I feel like, especially some of these psychiatrists who haven't been a veteran, that they don't know what it's all about. And I feel like there needs to be more services and more people, especially somebody who's been there, to understand these veterans, because otherwise, you know, you can get a degree in Timbuktu. You don't know what these guys are going through or what they've been through. So I think we need more people like that.
Hi, my name is Michael DeSelm. I work with corporate partnerships at Stop Soldier Suicide. I'm a 15-year Navy veteran. I'm the father of an active duty service member. My wife is a veteran as well. And what we get to do as an organization is near and dear to my heart, because there are too many lives that are being lost to this tragic epidemic. What we do at Stop Soldier Suicide is provide direct, private, one-to-one personalized health care and mental health solutions to any service member, any veteran, regardless of the discharge status, how long they served, when they served, or what their need is. We provide that care 100% free because of corporate partners and well-intentioned people like you that want to invest in the lives of veterans and service members. We were founded in 2011. We've seen over 4,000 clients in that time. We've provided over 17,500 hours of care in just the last year. And we've yet to lose a soldier, a veteran, or a family member to suicide in that time. So we are existing in all states. We're here to provide care to those who are in need, because we know that the need is real.
All right, so hi, my name is Claire Langford. I work with our community philanthropy here at Stop Soldier Suicide. In that is our peer-to-peer fundraising, Facebook fundraising, and with that is also working with our Black Box Project and our families who have lost someone to suicide, who are generous enough to lend their loved ones' devices to us. With the Black Box Project, our main focus is to use that loss and find purpose in that loss to help other families not have to go through that same thing. With that, we ask families to lend us a smartphone or a laptop any smart device to us, and all that we do is we are taking a copy of that data off and returning it right back to the families. And through machine learning and artificial intelligence, we want to find the risk factors and those red flags that are specific to our military community that maybe others don't know about. And in that, we can then look at suicide prevention as a whole and in that future state. The technology is here, artificial intelligence is here, so why not use that for good and help save lives? Recently, we just won a $3 million prize from the VA to continue and invest in this project, and we're hoping with that that we can find more families to invest and trust us in this project as well. At this moment, we have over 100 devices that have been a part of this, and we work with partners like Amazon Web Services and other technology companies who have donated technology that is that high level that is helping us get into some of these devices so that we can run those patterns, run those algorithms, find those risk factors and patterns, and help stop suicide from happening. Our goal and our mission with this is not only to help the military community to prevent suicide, but also for future state, how can we use that for other groups that are also being impacted? How can we use that with our first responders, for our nurses and doctors, for all communities that are being impacted by suicide, and tweak that technology to fit those needs? And so we ask that families that have devices that might be 1 to 3 years old from that last usage, that to just reach out, let us know how we can help, and we would love to connect with you on that. Thank you.
America is losing its warriors to suicide at a catastrophic rate. Most suicide prevention models don't address how to actually find those in crisis. We need insight into what the final days, hours, and minutes of crisis look like. Black Box Project is the solution. Like the black box used to determine the cause of an aircraft crash, our team of data experts securely collects, processes, and analyzes devices of veterans who've died by suicide. We wrap our arms around lost survivors, and when the time is right, we invite them to learn how device donation can prevent future losses. By collecting data such as social media posts, text messages, media files, and browser history, our machine learning and artificial intelligence algorithms build models of pre-suicidal behavior and identify red flag patterns. These insights empower us to rapidly deploy our life-saving services before it's too late. Once the data retrieval is complete, we return devices with all hardware and data intact. No warrior's death should be in vain. You can save lives and honor your loved one's legacy by donating their devices to Black Box Project. Learn more at stopsoldiersuicide.org/blackboxproject.